Hey everybody, it's Ashley. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am super excited because I get to show you and try out these brand new massive washi tapes by Altenew. I've got all 5 here. This is the Floral Flurries washi tape and it measures 6 7/8 inches wide. This is the dotted washi tape and this measures 4.5 inches wide. This here is the monochrome washi tape, which also measures 4.5 inches wide. This next one is the peach gold washi tape. This also measures 4.5 inches wide. And last but not least, we have the watercolor strokes washi tape, and this measures 2 3/8 inches wide. All of these also have about 11 yards on them, so this will last you for a very long time. I'll be using these two today because I think that the colors go well together and they're very easy to open. They have a little Altenew tab at the top or sticker at the top and then a little tab that you can pull down and easily just take the plastic wrap off of the tape roll. I'm going to be making a set of cards today, so 2 in one pattern and 2 in the other, and I'm going to be using some 4-bar cards. These are 4 7/8 by 3.5 inches, and they're mostly used for thank you cards or RSVP cards, and they're a really good size to give as a gift. For the first 2, I'm going to be using this Floral Flurries washi tape, and because it's so thick, meaning, width-wise, I am able to do both cards and at the same time, which saves a lot of time and energy. It's super easy to do. All I do is line up my tape as best as I can on my mat, and it helps to use a vantage mat or some sort of grid mat for this, and I just pull it over easily over both pieces of cardstock. If it does touch the cardstock and you'd like to take it off, it peels off very easily once you actually try to do it, but it will not come off unless you physically try to peel it back. So there's no worry about it coming off of a card that you gift to somebody. I make sure that this is nice and flat and that there are no bubbles or wrinkles, and I'm going to just cut the washi at the end. And after I do this, I lift it up off of my mat and it comes up very easily. You'll see there's not tearing. It's not hard for me to do. I'm a little gentle with it, but not so much in the way that you might think I would need to be. I'm going to trim all the tape off of the excess. I do not recommend folding the tape over the edges. I tried that before I filmed this video and it did seem to peel back just a tiny bit, not really enough, but if you're a bit of a perfectionist like I try to be, I would just recommend cutting as close as you can to the cardstock. And it's very easy. It works a lot like wrapping paper. If you just run your scissors along, it'll come right off. And that is the beautiful effect you get. You can't tell it's tape. It looks like I painted on there, even though I didn't. And this next set, or this next 2 cards here, are going to look even more watercolored. I've decided to just do 1 at a time. I tried to line up 2 here, but it's going to be a little bit too much off camera. So I decided in the end just to do 1 of these pieces of cardstock at a time with this washi tape. You'll see here it sticks onto the paper, and it's like I was saying before, it's very easy to pull it up and remove the cardstock without getting any of the residue or ripping the cardstock at all. So I want to make sure that there are no bubbles and no wrinkles, and that's because I really want this to look like I did this design on the card, not like it's tape over the cardstock. And I've sped this up a bit just because it's a lot of repetition of what I did in the last, or for the last 2 pieces of cardstock. So now I'm going to trim just as I have the other 2, and again I'm just getting very, very close to the edge so that you can't tell that there's any tape overhang or anything like that. I love the idea of this washi tape. It's almost like a background stamp sort of idea where you can just do one thing and have a card quickly and beautifully, and I absolutely love having that option. To add the sentiment to my cards, I'm going to do hello and thanks. I am going to be embossing all of them in this gold here, and I'm going to be using a dropped black shadow, and the hello and thanks word dies that I'm using are from Catherine Pooler. Because I'm embossing on a piece of cardstock that's already been die cut, I'm going to use this Ranger clear ink. It's a bit like Versamark, only it comes in this dauber, and it's a little easier for me to adhere it to the die cut. So just make sure that it's smooth all around the the die cut, and I'm going to remove it from the area that I did the ink because I don't want all of my embossing powder to stick onto the paper and lose that embossing powder. After embossing the die cut here, I am going to adhere it to the dropped back black shadow, and this is just to give it a little bit more definition. I tried it first without this black shadow behind it, and it got a little lost in the card, especially on the floral card because there's just a lot of detail going on. So here's what it looks like, and I'm going to go ahead and do that with all of the die cuts. Depending on what you're more comfortable with, you could put the glue on the black piece of cardstock or die cut like I am, or you could adhere it or put it onto the back of the embossed die cut. It's really just up to you and what you're most comfortable with. I'm going to be using a hello and a thanks, each on one on the floral card front and one on the watercolor card front, so that there's a bit of an option. And I decide that I need a little something else just to help the sentiment stand out. So I'm going to be using the brand new Catherine Pooler vellum cardstock. This vellum is beautiful. It's transparent, but it's strong and it's not flimsy, and I love it. Especially if you like to emboss things on vellum, I would highly recommend giving this cardstock a try. So I'm going to fold it over the sides, and I'll just adhere the sides that are folded over to the back with a little bit of glue, and I'm going to adhere the die cuts right on top of the vellum, and it just gives it a little bit more focus, I think. Just having the pattern behind it a bit more muted with the vellum there. And I'm going to repeat this process with each die cut and card front, again using a hello on the floral and the watercolor, and then a thanks on the floral and the watercolor as well. And again, just adhering it right to the center, right on top of the vellum piece. Now I have this piece of cardstock cut to 4 7/8 by 7 inches, and I'm going to score it at 3.5, and this will make a 4-bar card, or a 4-bar sized card base. So I'm just going to make sure that I score that well and then go over it one more time. And I'm going to adhere the card fronts with some foam tape. This is just to give a little bit of weight, and I always think it just feels a little bit better in your hand when it's a little heavier. Though if you know that this person that you're gifting this to is going to be mailing these, might be a good idea just to adhere it with tape, and then it'll keep the postage down for them. And after I get this adhered on there, I am all done with this card. I will repeat the process for the other cards in the set, but that's it. I am so in love with this washi tape. I think it is so beautiful, but also great for those last minute cards that we always seem to need. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Please let me know which washi is your favorite and if you've given it a try. I will see you soon. Thanks for watching.